Vietnam is a very special case for future. They are socialist country, but their rule are based on more, not so much strict like China. Intellectual property or how to control their government policy or sticking to the press freedom. Vietnam is more easier than China. So I think one of the good example in future, they are not based on democracy, but their tool is considered for more happiness for people. I think a good example in future. China is still very heavy sticking to control for the press freedom and also controlling for the kind of the uh, govern, governance of their how to handle people. But Vietnam is different, more loosening their strict control. So I think it's a good example in future. One type of political regime supposed to be instead of democracy is the best in the world. But I think Vietnam style some meaning some much better than like Philippines. Like example is uh, the person per capita is Vietnam is still low, but your country does not have um, kind of oligarchy, so everybody equal. So I think this is like compared to Philippines. Philippines, these people govern the country like America. Almost all asset is owned by rich people, so ordinary people are poor. So Vietnam and also transportation Vietnam is better than Philippines. So one of the good examples. So my measurement of what is the definition of happiness, what the definition of democracy is, what is the definition of happiness. So people are happy is the best country compared with the other country. I think this means Vietnam is very good situation is undergoing even if the person per capita is 3,000 US dollars, but it's much better than Philippines.
Hmm.
And it's much less strict than what we saw in Europe and in Soviet Union. That was much more oppressive than what we see in Dhaka today, for example.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's surviving because it's not too strong.
Right, right. It's a trade-off, right? So okay, people that it's their stability. There is more or less equality, and we see that the economy is growing. It's going somewhere. So that equals more or less like the system is working for us. And these countries, they know all too well that capitalism is not always working. Cuba, Vietnam, they had terrible regimes under capitalism. Capitalism is not that great, and those people definitely realize that.
Hmm.
Mm. But Russia is a very interesting now.
Can
Is
see the
regime.
country, yeah, going up, and also it seems they're going to sooner or later hit the ceiling
Right.
for the next step of.
For countries like Vietnam, I think there's still an opportunity because of the very rapidly increasing costs in China. Southeast Asia still has a lot of potential to grow, and Vietnam is one of those countries that is very well positioned to grow quite some time longer. That is if Trump is not overly successful to create a trade war everywhere throughout the world, and going back to protectionism, that will be very bad news for countries like Vietnam.
Are you talking about Trump?
I'm talking about Trump.
Oh, Okay, I just listened to my recognition is different. He tried to destroy. He tried to destroy the old world order. Okay, current world order. He tried to scratch out.
Right, but the
He
current
tried to
world-
create new world order.
Hmm.
Okay, and he had very bad point, but good point is he tried to create new world order and global equalization, equilibrium to establish. And past 70 years, I'm balancing in the world, economically, politically, everything else. So he tried to scratch it out. So that's the reason he tried to make country by country bilateral agreement, not only economy but everything else. So it
Right.
means he denied European community, he denied NAFTA, he denied TTP. Everybody should be equal. He's thinking approach. This is I support him, but he had a lot of things like racist, and he had a lot of problem immigrant, had lots of problem, lots of not well educated person. But anyway, but that point is I support him.
Right, but for countries like because the current system is very much focused on globalization, on a business process outsourcing, on bringing your production to the countries where they have the lowest cost level, given certain minimum conditions regarding infrastructure, political stability, and things like that. But Vietnam is very well positioned to actually to gain from that because they have a low cost structure, they have a good infrastructure, there is stability. So they are very well positioned to grow in a world that is really focused on globalization. But Trump is trying to overturn that and bring back production to where consumption is. So bringing factories back to the States, let the people who buy it also produce it, and thereby strengthening the power of the blue collar workers in the United States, which is at the expense of the people in Vietnam who would otherwise benefit and get more work pushed in their direction.
Yeah, this is a blue collar workers in the states is another issue. This is the kind of, if the, what kind of action Trump will going to take, but that kind of under current position, this problem will not be solved. Right?
No.
It's impossible. Just the people stay there, no skill, no intention for studying hard, working hard. It's useless. Just we cannot take care of them. We cannot take care of them. It's impossible. So what's going to do? It's very difficult. We just only one way. We try to give them opportunity to be educate their skill. That's all. Might be that the only way. Or government need to consider for the basic income system.
Yeah, well, that is one thing. I mean, I wonder whether, like, okay, what Trump is doing is trying to bring those jobs, those manufacturing jobs, back to the United States, not necessarily just by American firms, but also by global firms with global production standards, like Foxconn, for example, to bring those factories to the United States, which is interesting in itself. So it brings employment, but only to the extent that it will not be automated and done by robots and with the help of very smart software. So the real extra employment that it will create will probably be very limited, because that will be the new form of business process outsourcing, not to the lowest cost countries in terms of wages, but just automation. That is where companies can save costs. And Trump himself really believes that you should save costs, not paying taxes and whatever. That's his responsibility as an entrepreneur for his workers, for his shareholders. So he will probably realize that, okay, even though if he manages to bring factories, keep factories in the United States, not bring them to countries like Vietnam, then still, if it becomes cost efficient, these jobs will soon be outsourced to computers and robots.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日は VCube さんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアーツということと、それからもう一つは孫子の兵法、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって、皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。で、以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後、こういうふうな研修をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。で、ここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね、集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね、50セッションのテーマに分けて資料作成しております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対してもいろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね、議論をしております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、VCube さんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。